What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Frankie Bones, and in today's video we are going to dive back into the CDL. Just signed up for my Breaking Point account, and we're going to go through, and for the first time I'm going to submit a fantasy team for the Breaking Point Pick'em. It's going to be really fun. I'll tell you guys about who I'm picking, why I'm picking, and then at the end of the video, I'll go through and predict some of the matchups going on this weekend. Probably not going to do map count for most, but I will go through, tell you guys what I think about some of the matchups here at the beginning of the Major 2 qualifiers. So first thing that I want to do is tell you guys a little bit about the Breaking Point website. As you can see up top, breakingpoint.gg. It's a really cool website that has tons of information, news, stats on the Call of Duty League itself. You can even look back at past years as well. So really, really cool. This is the homepage. It'll show you a bunch of results, news here as well. But really just a great website if you guys want to find out some more information about your favorite team, or if you're just getting into the scene, you're a big numbers guy and you want to just go and check it all out. You can find it all here again at breakingpoint.gg. So I'll show you guys an example here of some of the stats. So you can look through and it'll show you the series history, the maps that they're picking versus vetoing, which is some really cool information and some next level stuff to learn more about your favorite team or about who your team is going up against, as well as some game mode and map records. And some overall stats as well here up at the top. And then on the right side here, they'll break it down by game mode in particular, as well as the individual player, which is really cool to see. And it's definitely taught me more about the game. And I wouldn't say it gives me an advantage, because obviously it's just gunning for me. But really cool to look at, and you can separate it by major as well. When the Major 2 gets added, you can select between those. So what we're going to do is go over to the fantasy screen. I have already selected my team, so I'll show you guys that in a second. But you can also click on the previous fantasy scores when you are going through to help you make your selections. So these were some of the top scorers from the Major 1. You have Pred, Hydra, Sib, Abizi, Scrappy, Cell. A lot of the guys that you like to see, or maybe not like to see, but a lot of guys that you would expect to be up top. We got the big dog Kismet there as well, the Bulldog, and Caesar and Afro. A lot of those guys at the top were absolutely frying. And again, we're looking for those guys that are going to perform up at the top. Caesar probably didn't cost a ton. Caesar Skies initially, but a lot of these other guys probably priced pretty high. Again, this is the first time that I'm going through and picking my fantasy lineup, so stick with me if you guys see it initially and you're like, what is he doing? That could be true, but I really like this team that I put together, and I'll go through and explain the rationale between everybody, whether I like their matchups or what have you, and we'll get rolling. So for my team, we'll go over, and here it is, Frankie Bones Gaming's team. We have Scump for $7, we have Shotzi for $5, we have Octane for $6, and we have Brack for $7. So a little bit about how this setup works and sort of how to go about it is, if you guys have seen any of the pictures on social media, it's pretty popular. You'll have a budget and you'll have to select a certain amount of players, or $25 and pick your favorite movies, or your quarterback build with $25 or what have you. But so you'll have $25 for this particular challenge, and you'll have to select 4 players. So as you can see, not a math guy, but we got 14, we got 11 with these two, so that'll be 25. Needed the calculator, but that's the team that I'm going with. So to start with Scump, outside of being the king, not much more to say. Just kidding. But I think that Seth is going to have a really strong Major 2 cycle. I think that the switch over to the flex is going to be really massive for this team overall. I think that The pacing is going to be fixed with Hook coming back, the familiarity with the XEO guys, with Shotzi, who was my second pick, Illy and Hook. I think that the pacing is going to be fixed. I'm praying they got good practice. I know that Seth has been frying in this game, so had to pick him. And it's my first one, and it's his last year, so may ride with him in every single Breaking Point Fantasy pick him. But as well, similar line with Shotzi at $5. This is an absolute steal. When he's at the top of his game, he's probably a top 3 player in the league. And if the pacing issues and some of the off-game issues have been fixed by bringing in Hook and sending Dashy to the bench, skill-wise, it's definitely tough to send Dashy to the bench, but something needed to be changed. The whole team sort of felt that way, and it was kind of easy to see from the outside after the alleged changes this offseason where they were maybe looking to make a move, ended up sticking together, and just sort of became a messy situation. But I'm buying the upside on Shotzi at $5. It's sort of tough to pick guys sort of towards the bottom. The lowest price there is $4, and between the $4 and $5, really not a ton of great options, and I definitely wanted to be able to leverage some of the higher priced players as well. It goes from $10 to $4. I apologize for again doing this before, but so you guys couldn't see the tab with all the players and how much they cost. Alright, so for my third player, I'm going to go with Sam LaRue, aka Octane from Los Angeles Thieves. I think it's $6. That this is, again, another value play. I felt like these were all value plays. I found the diamond in the rough. You guys can let me know in the comments what you guys think of my team. But the thoughts here on Octane is that they're on a winning team. The points get determined based on individual performance as well as team performance as well. So he's on a team with winners. His team fries. He has been grinding in Pro 8s in scrimmages, which I think is something that is underrated. He's learning more about the game. He has a great game IQ. Their whole team loves to play the 8s as well. And I think that ARs just kind of fry online without that fair, even ping. I don't know if the Vaznev can keep up. So I am really buying that upside in Shotzi again at $5, but love the human turret for $6. And my fourth pick, I'm going to go with my man Brack for $7. Initially, I was a little surprised by his price. I thought that I'd be able to get him lower. But I think they have him properly rated there at 7. Maybe 6 could have been a little bit better, and maybe I'd be able to upgrade another position. But I think that he's really been frying, and we can take a look here over at the Florida numbers. Just show you guys a little bit how we can use some of the stats and sort of justify our decision. So as we hop over to the Florida page, again, like we had sort of talked about, I had this pulled up before, but a lot of the team stats and back-end stuff is here, where here are a lot of the individual numbers, and it'll also break it up by team, but based on the game mode that you're playing, it has it broken up. So we'll be highlighting Brack, and you can click on these, and it'll pull up their stats like that, or sort of highlight it. His kills per 10 at 21, I think this is pretty high, the highest on the team. KD just about a 1.1. The engagements, again, could be a little bit higher, but I love how low his deaths are. He's done a great job of playing his life, and in a game where map positioning is really important, I think having that sort of ability to play your life, play a creddy, and pick up big kills can be really good for the team. And also another thing that we see in a lot of his numbers, me being an objective player, I love him having the most amount of time. But he has over a fourth of the kill percentage, and he's under a fourth of the death percentage. So I do love that. A lot of times it's going to be your subs that have the highest number of death percentage, but you can see across all of his stats, it's pretty consistent like that, to where he is right at about a fourth and just under a fourth for deaths. Here again for the control, same line of work, but he's over a 1.0 in all game modes. His engagements decently high in search. I think he's a really great search player, so search can really benefit, especially being more of a 2-3-5 team, winning the search, control, and search. I think if he plays well in those game modes, I think that he may, just may, carry me to the promised land and find me at the top of the list. So let me know what you guys think of my team in the comments down below. If you guys already submitted one, let me know who you guys put in your roster. I'll probably shoot it down after you guys shoot mine down. But looking forward to seeing what you guys are going to pick, and really looking forward to these matches this weekend. So what I'm going to do now, like I'd mentioned at the beginning of the video, is go through the matches that are going on this weekend and predict who's going to win. I'm not sure if I'm going to do map count for every matchup, but for some of them I will. Sort of hard to do map count right now just because a lot of the picks and the vetoes aren't like sort of super solidified. Teams are moving around, changes are happening to the actual game itself, like spawns and game mechanics, all that. So I'm just going to pick winners for the most part here for this first weekend of the Major 2 cycle. And just want to talk about this. I mentioned it in my previous CDL video, but the Major 2 tournament is going to be held in Boston from February 2nd to 5th at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway. I've never been there myself, but Fenway, obviously, pretty nasty place as a diehard Yankees fan, but a really cool area. It should be pretty easy to get to if you guys are taking public transportation or anything like that. It should be a good time. Zinni's been hyping it up, so if anyone's in the area, it would be really cool to go. I went to the New York Major, and I really, really enjoyed it. So if you are a big Call of Duty fan, I definitely recommend going. But what we're going to do is we're going to dive into the matchups here that we have for this upcoming weekend. So here on the screen are all of the matches that are going on. So in the first matchup, I'll take Toronto. London's still making some changes. I'm not too positive about their team. ASIM was frying in Major 1, but will he be able to repeat that? I'm not really sure, so we'll take Ultra. For the next matchup, I'll take Breach. I think that they're going to rebound strongly and get some momentum going, with Big Wake hopefully healthy again after being sick from Major 1. I think that they definitely put in the reps. I think that they are an on and off team, but I believe that Boston will get the dub here over the Rocker. For the next matchup to end the day, I'll take Seattle over Vegas. Just really not sure how Vegas is going to come out. They looked pretty decent in the Major 1 cycle, but ultimately I think when Seattle's on, they're on. If Mac is frying, team's winning. And despite all the rumors about Pred going anywhere, or even a crazy rumor about Sib going to OPTIC, or both of them going to OPTIC, I think Lamar is a great leader in accuracy. Lamar accuracy, that is. And I think he's going to be able to keep the boys in check. For the next one, I'll take Mutineers. I have Brack, so I just want them to fry. LAG made a lot of roster changes, so really just no idea what's going to be going on there. Take Rocker in the next one over the London Royal Ravens. Again, with the roster change, I'm just not sure what they're going to come out with. Adding in Matty Marshall, a.k.a. Scraps, and taking out Paul X. For the next one, Atlanta FaZe versus the Seattle Surge. The Saturday is really a banger, and I'm super excited for it. So we have the Atlanta FaZe versus the Surge. I'll take FaZe. I think that Slasher has just such a game IQ. I think that when the game changes, I think he's going to be able to help the boys adapt. I think that they've built a great culture over there with him. I think he's brought in a lot of good things to their team, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see them win a major here this year in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And to wrap up the rest of Saturday, we have Los Angeles Thieves going up against New York. I'll take LAT. Need Octane to fry. I think New York might regress a little bit, but LAT just puts in hours on the game, and I think that that's going to be really important going forward here in this game. Starting off Sunday, we have Toronto versus Florida. I'll take Toronto. Toronto's sort of a juggernaut, and I just don't think Florida will have enough, particularly in this matchup, outside of Brack frying. And then the much-anticipated debut of the OPTIC roster with Hook. It's OPTIC Texas versus Breach. I'll take OPTIC. Obviously, I'll back the green wall. I think that the changes that they made are going to make an impact on the team. And although I think that Boston does rebound a little bit from their Major 1 performance, obviously can't go against the boys. And to wrap it up, I'll take Los Angeles Thieves over LAG. Adding in 3 guys from the academy team, really just not sure what will happen. And LAT is sort of a known quantity. They're a great team, great teamwork, and come a long way since the beginning of last year, and I think they just have sort of too much momentum for a new team to stop. So I think that's going to do it for this video, guys. I really appreciate all the support and all the love on the past few videos. It's been really fun making all this content for you guys, and I look forward to bringing you more Call of Duty and CDL content in the future. But for now, that is going to do it for this episode, guys. Look forward to bringing more content in the future, like I had mentioned. But I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.